these houses, these signs, these conjunctions, these aspects are surely getting activated in your natal horoscope, and their ensuing results will come forth for you. So these are certain things which you should surely be concerned about. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. Saturn's transit in Aquarius has just happened, and it's a time where we need to look back over the last roughly about 3 years and also look forward now that Saturn has moved into Aquarius, into which houses it has moved into, also which houses it is activating by virtue of its aspect, also which planets are now coming under aspect of Saturn by virtue of their placement in the natal horoscope. So if in your natal horoscope, for example, if any planets are in the Aries sign or the Leo sign or Scorpio sign in your birth horoscope, then these are surely getting activated by virtue of Saturn's aspect on it. Also, those planets which are in the Aquarius sign in your natal horoscope are also getting activated. Then planets which are in conjunction with Saturn in any of these houses are getting activated more, because Saturn is also in conjunction with those planets in these three signs, in Aries or Leo or Scorpio, and Saturn's direct aspect is going to be on them, plus Saturn's conjunction with any of these planets posed in Aquarius sign. Also, Rahu is getting activated. Now, many of you may not have kept an eye on this particular aspect of your horoscope, because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So now Rahu is getting activated. Whichever house Rahu is placed in your horoscope, that is getting activated. That is also getting activated for a new hunger or greed that Rahu brings about in those houses, because of Saturn moving into Aquarius and activating that in its transit. Also, if any of your horoscope has a Rahu and Saturn either conjunction or Rahu either aspecting Saturn or under the aspect of Saturn, then that is also getting activated furthermore, and those reactions, those results are also going to come upon you. So by virtue of just one transit of Saturn, so many areas of your horoscope are getting activated. Natal placements of certain planets are getting activated. Conjunctions by virtue of planets placed with Saturn or planets placed in these particular houses or in these signs, Aries, Leo, Scorpio, and obviously Aquarius are also getting activated. So it's important for us to lay some focus on these particular aspects or these areas of your horoscope as well. Now, Astro Assurance is the only channel which we have covered 4 videos on only one transit, that of Saturn. I don't know of any other channel which has covered the transit of Saturn into Aquarius from different perspectives. For example, we have already done a very lengthy video on Saturn's transit into Aquarius from different rising signs, zodiac signs, from the rising sign perspective. Then we have also done another lengthy video from your moon lagna's perspective. If moon is placed in certain signs, from that perspective, what kind of results will Saturn's transit into Aquarius will bring you. Thirdly, we have done another video where we have done by virtue of now the next 4 months, because of Saturn, Jupiter and Rahu, and then vice versa, being from January onwards till April in one line in 3 signs, one after the other, Aquarius, Pisces and Aries, and then Jupiter and Saturn, Jupiter and Rahu then switching places. So till April, the results of these 3 planets being one after the other. That is another story, that Mars is also going to remain in Taurus for a couple more months, so that will add to that effect. So we have done a video on this also, combining it with the natal, with your Navamsa placement of 4 main signs in the Kendras, how those results are also getting activated, specifically connected to these 3 signs, Aquarius, Pisces and Aries. So we have already done 3 videos on that. This is the 4th video that I am doing of Saturn's transit into Aquarius, by virtue of now that Saturn has got into Aquarius, what are the remnant effects which will continue for another 30 to 45 days. Saturn is a very slow moving planet, so the remnant effects will come about, activation of certain results will come about. And also please do remember, because of Saturn going into Aquarius, if Saturn is retrograde into any of your natal horoscopes, in your birth horoscope if Saturn is retrograde, then the remnant effects of Saturn, even when it has moved away from the Capricorn sign into Aquarius, the remnant effects will be felt, or the aftershocks will be felt by you for some more time, maybe up to almost even 2 months. For some people, rare instances, even for 3 months, you will keep feeling the effect of Saturn moving away from Capricorn, but still Capricorn sign in your horoscope, by virtue of some of the areas, always remaining activated for the next 2 months or even 3 months or so. So let's jump in and see for different rising zodiac signs what could be the remnant effects, what are the certain placements which are getting activated by virtue of Saturn now moving into Aquarius for each of the rising signs. Now for Aries ascendant natives, we know that Saturn has just moved into the Aquarius sign. However, now that Saturn has moved into Aquarius sign in your 11th house, so obviously your 11th house is getting activated, the Aries sign in your Lagna is getting activated, the Leo sign in your 5th house, and the Scorpio sign in your 8th house is getting activated. For a more detailed video, you can see my video on the rising sign and what the Saturn's transit into Aquarius means for you. However, the next 30 to 45 days, Aquarius sign or the 10th house of yours will remain activated for maybe after effects, you can say, or aftershocks. After an earthquake happens, what happens? So that surely Capricorn sign of the 10th house will remain activated for some more signs. So you can expect results of your 10th house of your career or related to career as well. So keep an eye on that. Secondly, areas that are getting activated are also where Saturn's natal placement of any planets on those particular signs in your natal horoscope, those are getting activated. So any planet that you have in the Aries sign or in the Leo sign or the Scorpio sign, they are also getting activated, as well as those planets which are in Aquarius sign in your natal horoscope are getting activated. Plus all those planets which are under the aspect of Saturn in your natal horoscope, wherever Saturn is, whichever planet are in aspect of Saturn, they are getting activated now that Saturn is moving into Aquarius, and their rulership houses, whichever houses those planets rule, they will also get activated. Secondly, if Saturn itself is under the aspect or is conjunct with Rahu in your natal horoscope, then Rahu is getting activated, and Rahu's placement, whichever houses Rahu is placed in, those are also getting activated. So for those houses, you may also feel or see a heightened hunger and a desire to achieve with respect to Rahu's placement in your natal horoscope for Aries ascendant natives. So keep an eye on and don't rush into any decision making wherever Rahu is placed. Those areas where Rahu is placed, the areas of that house. Then for those people who have moon in either Sagittarius sign, Capricorn sign, Aquarius or Pisces sign, I've already done a video from a moon's Lagna perspective. Do see that video. However, now for Sagittarius natives, your Sadhe Sati is over, but next 30 to 35 days you may feel an after effects or those areas still remaining activated. So for the Aries ascendant natives, if you have moon in the 9th house, so some small effects or small results for the 9th house will still remain or come about for you. So keep that in mind. Now for Taurus ascendant natives, Saturn has moved into your 10th house, and so it is activating your 10th house, but Saturn is also aspecting a debilitation sign of the 12th house where Aries sign is placed, and so that is getting activated, but Saturn will not be so happy giving you the best results for the 12th house. Saturn may slow down areas of the 5th house, and Saturn may also affect your partnership, your marital relationship also, specifically because it is aspecting Scorpio sign and the 7th house where it gets the highest directional strength, and with its 10th aspect of karma. So be very careful during this period of how you treat relationship, because there could be a transformation in the relationship, or how you see your marital relationship. Some transformation is also getting activated. So for the remaining 30 to 35 days or 45 days, in spite of Saturn moving away from your 9th house, you may still feel a few effects of the 9th house, continued effects of the 9th house, Saturn just transiting away from it for the next 30 to 45 days. Those areas which are, those planets which are under Saturn's aspects now in your natal chart, which means planets which are placed in Aries, or planets which are placed in Leo, and planets which are placed in Scorpio sign in your natal horoscope, are also getting activated and under the influence of Saturn. So Saturn's slowdown effects, Saturn's payback effect of karma, all those are getting activated. Secondly, if Saturn is under the aspect of Rahu or conjunct with Rahu in your natal horoscope, then Rahu is also getting activated very, very strongly. Firstly, Rahu co-rules Aquarius with Saturn, so obviously Rahu is getting activated by virtue of Saturn moving into Aquarius. But if Saturn and Rahu have some relationship in your natal horoscope by virtue of conjunction or aspect, then Rahu is getting activated even stronger. So be really careful of wherever Rahu is placed in your horoscope. Be careful of not rushing into any decision making around the areas of that house. Then for those people, Taurus ascendant natives, if any of you have moon in your Sagittarius sign, Capricorn sign, or Aquarius sign, or Pisces sign, so obviously for Sagittarius sign, moon sign people, Sadesati is finished, but the next 35 to 45 days are still important for you. However, for Capricorn ascendant natives, you are moved into a setting phase. For Aquarius ascendant natives, you are moved into a peak Sadesati phase. Whereas for Pisces ascendant natives, you are moved into your rising period for Sadesati. So keep in mind that your Sadesati is now active. So be careful of how you are taking your decisions from now onwards. For Gemini ascendant natives, Saturn has moved into your 9th house and strongly activating your 9th house. However, because though Saturn has moved away from your 8th house for the next 30 to 45 days, the after effects or aftershocks of Saturn moving away from your 8th house will remain. So 8th house, you can assume, will still be activated for some more time, maybe for 30 to 45 days. So don't move your focus away from your 8th house results. Keep an eye on them, because suddenly last minute some results may still come by for you. However, in your natal horoscope, if you have any planets either in the Aries sign or in the Leo sign or in the Scorpio sign, then they are getting activated. Also, the houses that those planets rule are also getting strongly activated. So keep this in mind. Those planets and those houses which they rule in your natal horoscope are getting activated. The other thing is, Aquarius sign being also co-ruled by Rahu and Saturn. So Rahu is getting activated in your horoscope. And so wherever Rahu is placed in your natal horoscope, those house areas are also getting activated. So be real careful that the hunger and desire for that area may be activated. So be careful how you make your decision. But if Rahu and Saturn have some relationship in your natal horoscope by virtue of either aspect or conjunction, either aspect on each other or conjunction, then Rahu is getting activated even more strongly. So keep that in mind, that over the next 2 years and 2 months, Rahu will remain activated as long as Saturn remains in Aquarius. So keep this in mind. Then for those people who have moon either in the Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces sign in your natal horoscope, for Gemini ascendant natives, though moon has moved away from Capricorn, so for Sagittarius sign people, the Sadesati is finished. However, be careful for the next 30 to 45 days. The aftershocks or remnants of the Sadesati effect may still follow you. But for Capricorn ascendant natives, you are moving into your setting period. For Aquarius ascendant natives, you are moving into your peak period. And for Pisces ascendant natives, from the moon's perspective, moon lagna perspective, you are moving into your rising period of Sadesati. So keep that in mind and take your decisions from now on accordingly. Keep your focus around those areas. For Cancer ascendant natives, Saturn has moved away from your 7th house of partnerships, marital relationship, and moved into your 8th house. But while it is moved into your 8th house for the next 30 to 35 days, the remnant effects or the aftershock effects of Saturn moving away from your 7th house will remain. So the 7th house will still remain activated for some more time, especially if Saturn is retrograde in your horoscope For Cancer rising sign people, then the after effects will be felt for a few more months. In your natal horoscope, if your planets either in the Aries sign or the Leo sign or the Scorpio sign, then they are also getting activated, and the houses they rule in your natal horoscope, they are also getting activated, especially if Saturn also aspects any one of them in your natal horoscope, or if there are planets placed in your Aquarius sign in your natal horoscope. Then Rahu is getting activated because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So Rahu, wherever is placed in your natal horoscope, that house and those areas of the house are getting activated. So it will increase your hunger and desire to achieve results of that house. So be careful how you take decisions regarding that house for the remaining 2 years and 2 months. As long as Saturn remains in Aquarius, Rahu will also remain activated. Especially if Rahu and Saturn are establishing any relation in your natal horoscope by virtue of either being conjunct or in each other's aspects in some way, then surely those areas are also getting activated very stronger. So keep this in mind, that Rahu's effect in your natal horoscope will be activated more if Rahu and Saturn have any relationship in your natal horoscope. For those people who, for Cancer ascendant natives whose moon is either in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces, obviously for Saturn, for Sagittarius ascendant natives, your Sadhe Sati is over, but for the next 30 to 35 days, after effects of Sadhe Sati still will be felt. But keep in mind, Capricorn ascendant natives, you have just moved into your setting period of Sadhe Sati. For Aquarius people, you have now started your peak period, whereas for Pisces ascendant natives, you have moved into your rising period. So keep that in mind, keep your focus in those areas of those houses accordingly. For Leo ascendant natives, Saturn has moved into your 7th house and strongly activating marital relationship, partnerships, teamwork, etc. However, for the next 30 to 35 days or 45 days, the after effects of the 6th house may also come out for you. So don't keep your focus away from your 6th house or service or competition or illnesses as well. Especially if Saturn is retrograde in your horoscope, then for the next 3 to 4 months also the after effects may be felt. However, whichever sign planets are placed under aspect of Saturn now, especially in Aries sign if you have any planets, or in your Leo sign if you have any planets in your natal horoscope, or if you have Scorpio sign if you have planets in your natal horoscope, all of them are getting activated as well. So keep that in mind, apart from planets obviously placed in the Aquarius sign as well. Plus Rahu is getting activated because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So wherever Rahu is placed in your natal horoscope, whichever house, Rahu is getting activated there, and those areas of those houses are also getting activated. Rahu will increase your hunger and desire to achieve in the areas of that particular house. So keep that in mind. You don't rush into any rash decisions regarding areas of that house. Secondly, if Rahu is establishing any relationship with Saturn in your natal horoscope by virtue of being conjunct with Saturn in any house or any sign, or either Saturn aspecting Rahu in any way or Rahu aspecting Saturn in any way, then too Rahu will be activated even stronger over the next 2 years or 2 months. Keep that in mind. For people of Leo rising sign, if moon is either in your Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces sign, keep in mind, though for Sagittarius ascendant native the Sadhe Sati is over, but for the next 30 to 35 days, keep in mind that the after effects of Sadhe Sati still will be felt. So don't keep your focus away, keep your focus on your areas of those houses, especially related to the 5th and the 6th house. Some more effects may be felt over the next 30 to 35 days. However, for Capricorn ascendant natives, you have moved into your setting period. Aquarius ascendant natives, you have moved into your peak period, and for Pisces ascendant natives, from moon lagna perspective, you have moved into your rising period of Sadhe Sati. So keep this in mind and keep your focus and be careful from now on how you make your decisions. For Virgo ascendant natives, Saturn has moved into a 6th house of service, competition, serving under other people, sicknesses, illnesses as well. But Saturn is more protective in the 6th house, so you don't need to worry too much about sicknesses. However, this will be a more protective area for Saturn, though it will also slow down results of the 6th house. However, keep in mind that the remnant effects, even though Saturn has moved away from Capricorn sign for the next 30 to 35 days or 45 days, the after effects will still be felt of the 5th house for you. So keep that in mind, don't lose your focus. especially for Virgo ascendant natives, because Saturn has moved into the 6th house and it rules the 5th house. It is activating challenging period for you by virtue of your relationship with your children. This will be the most telling thing for Virgo ascendant natives. So keep in mind how you will deal with children, what your relationship with children is, and the 5th house areas of investments or also change in your career, those are getting activated most in this transit. And planets which are placed either in your Aquarius sign or Aries sign or Leo sign or Scorpio sign, all those planets are also getting activated because of Saturn now aspecting those houses. So keep that in mind. Those planets are getting activated, those yogas and doshas are also getting activated for you. Also, if because Rahu also co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn, so Rahu is also getting activated in your horoscope. So whichever house Rahu is placed in your horoscope, those houses are also getting activated, those areas of the houses also getting activated. So be a little careful how you make decisions regarding those areas, because Rahu will obviously remain activated for the next 2 years and 2 months. But this is even stronger if Rahu is establishing any relationship with Saturn by virtue of either Rahu aspecting Saturn in your natal horoscope or Saturn aspecting Rahu in your natal horoscope. Those areas will also be getting activated, so keep that in mind. Now, for Virgo ascendant natives who have moon either in your Sagittarius sign, Capricorn sign, Aquarius sign or Pisces sign, keep in mind, obviously for Sagittarius ascendant natives, your Sadesati is over, but for the next 30 to 45 days, after effects of the Sadesati may still chase you for some more time, so be careful, don't lose your focus. For Capricorn ascendant natives, obviously you have moved into your setting Sadesati period. Aquarius people are moving into your peak Sadesati period, whereas for Pisces moon sign people, you are moving into your rising Sadesati period. So keep that in mind. From now on, be careful of how you make decisions regarding the areas of the house. For Libra ascendant natives, Saturn has moved into your 5th house in your Aquarius sign. However, for the next 30 to 45 days, there may be some after effects or aftershocks of the 4th house of the Capricorn sign. So don't lose your focus, keep your focus there. Also, in your natal horoscope, planets placed in the Aquarius sign or Aries sign or Leo sign or the Scorpio sign all will be getting activated. So keep this in mind. The houses that they rule and where they are placed in will also be getting activated. Also, Rahu will be getting activated because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So whichever house Rahu is placed in your natal horoscope, that house will get activated and the areas of that particular house will get activated. So the hunger and greed and desire to achieve in the areas of that house will get activated. So be careful how you make your decision making from now on in those areas of that house. Especially if Saturn and Rahu are establishing any relationship in your natal horoscope by virtue of either conjunction or either Rahu aspecting Saturn or Saturn aspecting Rahu in any way, then Rahu will be activated even further. So keep that in mind. Now for Libra ascendant natives, if any of you have moon either in the sign of Sagittarius or Capricorn or Aquarius or Pisces, keep in mind, though for Sagittarius moon sign people, your Sadesati has ended, but the after effects will still be felt for the next 30 to 45 days. So don't lose your focus. Keep an eye on areas connected to Saturn in your horoscope, because those will remain activated for some more time. However, for Capricorn ascendant natives, you are moving into your setting period. Aquarius ascendant natives, you are moving into your peak period, and for Pisces ascendant native, from a moon lagna perspective, you are moving into your rising period. So from now on, now that Sadesati, you have moved into a different phase of Sadesati, keep your focus around the areas of those houses. For Scorpio ascendant natives, Saturn has moved away from your 3rd house of effort, hard work, communication, marketing, but moved into your 4th house of real estate, domestic life, domestic relations and so on. So Saturn will now activate that house. However, the after effects of the 3rd house may still be felt for the next 30 to 45 days. So don't lose your focus. Keep your focus in the areas of the 3rd house: marketing, short distance travels, any self effort that you do, anything you do on the social media, short distance travel, plus your ability to communicate or how you are able to present yourselves. Keep the focus there. Planets which are placed either in Aquarius sign, Aries sign, Leo sign or Scorpio sign in your natal horoscope are getting activated. So keep that in mind, that not only those planets are getting activated, but the houses they rule are also getting activated now that Saturn is moved into Aquarius sign and are now aspecting these three signs, as well as planets placed in the Aquarius sign. Obviously, Rahu is also getting activated because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So Saturn moving into Aquarius has activated Rahu in your natal horoscope. So whichever house Rahu is placed in your natal horoscope, that house is getting activated. Those areas which Rahu is placed in, those areas are getting activated. So the hunger, the greed, the desire to achieve in those areas of that house are getting activated. So be careful how you take decision making from now on, so that you're not misled into any decision making. Also, especially if Saturn and Rahu are establishing any relationship with each other in your natal horoscope by virtue of conjunction, or either Saturn aspecting Rahu in your natal horoscope or Rahu aspecting Saturn in your natal horoscope, then Rahu will be activated further, stronger over the next 2 years and 2 months. Now for Scorpio ascendant natives, the moon is placed in any of these signs for you, either in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces. Then keep in mind, though for Sagittarius moon sign Lagna perspective, your Sadesati is over, but the after effect, the remnant effects of the Sadesati may still be felt for the next 30 to 45 days. So keep in mind, don't lose your focus. For Capricorn ascendant natives, you are moved into your setting period. For Aquarius ascendant natives, from the moon Lagna perspective, you are moved into a peak period. And for Pisces moon perspective people, you are moved into a rising period of Sadesati. So keep in mind these phases, and from now on, take your decisions about these houses accordingly. Now for Sagittarius ascendant natives, rising sign perspective, Saturn is moved into your Aquarius sign, moved away from your second house. However, the after effects of Saturn will keep being felt for the next 30 to 45 days, especially connected to your income, livelihood, also your salary, your savings. So don't lose your focus on it, because there may be sudden expenses which may also come by to you. However, planets which are placed in the Aquarius sign or Aries sign or Leo sign or Scorpio sign in your natal horoscope, all are getting activated, because Saturn is now aspecting those particular signs in your, or those houses in your natal horoscope, and the houses they rule are also getting activated. Also, Rahu is getting activated because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So Rahu will be activated in your horoscope. Wherever Rahu is placed in your horoscope, that house will get activated. Areas of that house are also getting activated. The hunger and greed and desire to achieve in the areas of that house are also getting activated. So be careful how you make decisions around that particular house from now on, those areas from now on. So don't be misled into taking decisions which you may not like in the future. Plus, especially if Saturn and Rahu are establishing any relationship in your natal horoscope by virtue of conjunction, or either Saturn aspecting Rahu in your natal horoscope or Rahu aspecting Saturn in your natal horoscope, then obviously Rahu will be activated even more stronger over the next 2 years and 2 months. Now for Sagittarius rising people, if moon is placed either in your Lagna or in your Capricorn sign or Aquarius sign or Pisces sign, so obviously for Sagittarius sign people, your Sadesati is over, yet for the next 30 to 45 days, some after effects or aftershocks of the Sadesati still will be felt. So keep your focus, don't lose your focus, don't assume that your Sadesati is completely over. Some remnants of that effect may also be felt, so keep your focus. But for people who are either of Capricorn sign or Aquarius sign or Pisces sign with moon in any of these, keep in mind that you are moving into your setting, peak or rising period of Sadesati accordingly. So keep in mind those areas of those houses, and from now on be little careful how you make decisions regarding those areas. For Capricorn ascendant natives, Saturn has moved away from your Lagna, so there is a lot of relief, but it has moved into your second house. However, for the next 30 to 45 days, the after effects or the remnant effects of the Lagna will keep getting felt for you over the next a month or a half. So don't lose your focus. However, Saturn will now activate those planets which are placed either in the Aquarius sign or Aries sign or Leo sign or Scorpio sign in your natal horoscope by virtue of Saturn now aspecting those signs, aspecting those houses. So keep in mind that not only are those planets getting activated, but the houses they rule are also getting activated. Those results will also come by for you. Those houses will also show activation from now on. Some or the other area related to that, to those planets and their houses will keep coming forward for you. Secondly, Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So Rahu is getting activated in your natal horoscope. Wherever Rahu is placed in your natal horoscope, that house is getting activated. Those areas of the house are getting activated. The hunger and the greed and the desire for the respective house where Rahu is placed are also getting activated. So from now on, be a little careful how you make decisions regarding that house, so that you don't feel that you have not taken the right decisions in the future. Especially if Rahu and Saturn are establishing any relationship in your natal horoscope by virtue of Rahu and Saturn either conjunct, or Rahu aspecting Saturn in your natal horoscope, or Saturn aspecting Rahu in your natal horoscope, then Rahu will be even strongly activated over the next 2 years and 2 months, so keep that in mind. Now for Capricorn rising people, if you have Saturn in any of these signs in your natal horoscope, in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces, though Moon has moved away from your Sagittarius sign, however the remnants of the Sadesati will still be felt for some more time, so keep in mind. However, for Capricorn sign, Aquarius sign and Pisces sign people where Moon is placed in any of these signs for you in your natal horoscope, then accordingly you are moving into your setting period, rising period and the peak period of Sadesati. So keep your focus and take your decisions more carefully from now on related to those houses, related to those areas. Now for Aquarius ascendant natives, Saturn has moved right into your Lagna. So this is one of the most important periods for Aquarius ascendant natives, Saturn moving into your Lagna. But it has moved into a Sasha Yoga position. So this is going to be a very good placement for you, but slow down and a lot of effort required to be getting a lot of results is getting activated. However, though Saturn has moved away from your 12th house, but it will remain activated for some more time, for 30 to 45 days as after effects or aftershock you can say. So don't lose your focus, especially on your expenses or your health or anything connected to foreign service, especially if you are working in MNCs or working abroad away from your place of birth. So don't lose your focus, because your 12th house of waste and excess is still activated for the next 30 to 45 days. However, in your natal horoscope, if Saturn has its aspect now on any of the planets which are placed in your Aquarius sign or Aries sign or Leo sign or Scorpio sign, those planets which are placed in these signs in the natal horoscope, all of them are getting activated. So planets placed in Aquarius, Aries, Leo and Scorpio are getting activated, and the houses they rule are also getting activated from now on. So keep in mind, those areas will keep coming by for you for some or the other decision making every now and then. Most important thing is Rahu is also getting activated in your horoscope, because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So whichever house Rahu is placed in your natal horoscope, that particular house is getting activated. Those areas of that house is also getting activated. So the hunger, the greed, the desire to achieve in the areas of that house are also getting activated. So be careful of decision making around the areas of that houses, so that you don't regret later. Rahu will be activated even stronger if Rahu is either in conjunction with Saturn in your natal horoscope or establishing any other relationship with Saturn by virtue of either Rahu aspecting Saturn in your natal horoscope or Saturn aspecting Rahu. Then even stronger effects of Rahu may be felt over the next 2 years and 2 months. Now for Aquarius rising people, if you have Moon in any of these signs, in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces sign, now obviously if Moon is placed in your Sagittarius sign, then you have just finished your Sadesati, but Saturn has moved into your Lagna. So the after effects for the next 30 to 45 days, the after effects of Sadesati will remain. So don't lose your focus, especially connected to your 11th and the 12th house. However, for people who have Moon in the sign of Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces, you are moving either into your rising period of Sadesati, setting period of Sadesati or peak period of Sadesati. So keep your focus and keep your decision making from now on, keeping in mind what results Saturn may give you during your Sadesati related to the effects of that particular house and areas of that house. Now for Pisces ascendant natives, Saturn has moved away from your 11th house into your 12th house, into the Aquarius sign. However, the after effects of Saturn, though it has moved away from your 11th house, but the after effects for the 11th house may continue to be felt for the next 30 to 45 days. So don't lose your focus over the 11th house, especially connected to if you're working in a large organization or connected to friends or social life. So don't lose your focus, that these areas are still activated for some more time. However, in your natal horoscope, if planets are placed either in the Aquarius sign or Leo sign or Aries sign or the Scorpio sign, all these planets placed in the natal horoscope in these signs are getting activated. Either if they are in the Aquarius or Aries or Leo or Scorpio sign, those planets are getting activated, and the houses those planets rule are also getting activated. But more importantly, Rahu is getting activated because Rahu co-rules Aquarius along with Saturn. So wherever Rahu is placed in whichever house in your natal horoscope, that house is getting activated. The areas of that house are getting activated. So the hunger, the desire, the need to achieve in the areas of that particular house will also be activated over the next 2 years and 2 months. So be real careful how you make decisions regarding those houses, those areas, because so that you don't regret later. Especially if Rahu or Saturn are establishing any relationship in your natal horoscope by virtue of Rahu or Saturn conjunct with each other, or either Rahu aspecting Saturn or Saturn aspecting Rahu in your natal horoscope, then obviously Rahu will be activated even more stronger, so keep that in mind. Now for Pisces rising sign people, if you have moon in either of any of these signs, in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius or Pisces, keep in mind that though for Sagittarius moon sign people your Sadhe Sati is ended, but for the next 30 to 45 days the after effects, the remnant effects of Sadhe Sati still be felt. So keep your focus, don't lose your focus obviously concerning your 10th house and your 11th house. However, for those people who have moon either in Capricorn sign or Aquarius sign or Pisces sign, keep in mind that now you are entering either in your setting period, peak period or rising period of Sadhe Sati. So be careful about what areas of Saturn are getting activated as well as the houses, and from now on decision making should be keeping in mind that your Sadhe Sati, what phase you are in from now on. So friends, now that we have discussed what are the remnant effects, what are the after effects of Saturn moving away from your Capricorn sign but moving to Aquarius, keep in mind that Saturn is activating Rahu, Saturn is activating those houses which Saturn is aspecting, Saturn is activating those planets which are placed in your Aquarius sign, Aries sign, Leo sign or Scorpio sign, and the houses that they rule. So over the next 2 years and 2 months, keep in mind these areas, keep in mind what are the houses Saturn is aspecting and influencing what areas of your life, and you will be needed to take active steps in either avoiding challenges around those areas or to put in rigored effect, disciplined, structured effort to get the best results from those planets, from those houses. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time, some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.